Once there was a girl who wasn't feeling very pretty, so she went to a genie to make her pretty. The genie told her that to make her feel pretty, he would make it so that every time someone apologized to her, her boobs would increase by one size. So the girl is walking down the street and someone bumps into her and says,
"Oh, I'm sorry."
And the woman's boobs went up one size. Then someone accidentally stepped on her foot and said,
"I'm so sorry."
And her boobs got another size bigger. Then she's walking down the street and a woman from India bumps into her and says,
"Oh my God. 1,000 apologies."
Once upon a time there was a bear and a rabbit. The bear was taking a crap in the woods, when he asked the rabbit if he had problems with stuff sticking to its fur. The rabbit said no, so the bear wiped his ass with the rabbit.
An old guy is sitting on a bus when a punk rocker gets on. The punk rocker's mohawk is red, green, yellow, and orange. He has feather earrings. When he sees the old man staring at him, the punk rocker says,
"What's the matter, old man? Didn't you ever do anything wild when you were a young guy?"
The old guy says in reply,
"Yeah. One time I screwed a peacock. I thought maybe you were my kid."
3 people having sex is a threesome. 2 people doing it is called a twosome. So why is handsome a compliment? 3 couples went to a hotel for their honeymoons. They were all served by Bill. The first man was married to a nurse.
"Nurses are cute,"
thought Bill. The second man was married to a phone operator.
"Phone operators have sexy voices,"
Bill thought. The third man was married to a teacher.
"Teachers are too formal and strict." Poor guy.
He determined. After their honeymoons were over, Bill got a call from the first man.
"Never marry a nurse. All I heard last night was that's unsanitary. That's unsanitary."
A little later, Bill got a call from the second man.
"Don't marry a phone operator. All she said was your 3 minutes are up."
After a few more minutes, Bill got a call from the last man.
"Remember to marry a teacher, Bill. She kept saying we are going to do this over and over again, until we get it right."
A man and a woman were having drinks at a business conference, when they got into an argument about who enjoyed sex more. The man said,
"Men obviously enjoy sex more than women. Why do you think we are so obsessed with getting laid?"
That doesn't prove anything.
The woman countered.
Think about this, when your ear itches, and you put your finger in it and wiggle it around, then pull it out, which feels better, your ear or your finger?
A farmer is lying in bed with his wife when he turns to her, grabs her boobs and says,
"Honey, if you could get milk out of these, we could sell the cow."
Then he grabs her lady bits and says,
"Honey, if you could get eggs out of here, we could sell the chickens."
She turns to him, smiles, grabs his Johnson and says,
"Honey, if you could get this up, I could get rid of your brother."
A mother and father took their 6-year-old son to a nude beach. As the boy walked along the beach, he noticed some of the ladies had boobs bigger than his mother's, and asked her why. She told him,
"The bigger they are, the dumber the person is."
The boy, pleased with the answer, went to play, but returned and told his mom that many of the men had larger units than his dad. His mother replied,
"The bigger they are, the dumber the person is."
Again, satisfied with this answer, the boy went back to play. Soon, the boy returned again.
"Mom,"
he said,
"Daddy is talking to the dumbest girl on the beach, and the longer he talks, the dumber he gets."
Pinocchio was fed up with the recent complaints from his wife, who kept saying,
"Every time we make love, I get splinters."
So, Pinocchio went back to his maker, Geppetto the carpenter, for advice.
"Sandpaper,"
said the carpenter.
"That's what you need."
So, Pinocchio took the sandpaper home. A few weeks later, the carpenter bumped into Pinocchio again.
"How are you getting along with the girls now?"
"Girls? Who needs girls?" A young couple took their 2-year-old son to the doctor. With some hesitation, they explained that, although their little angel appeared to be in good health, they were concerned about his rather small penis. After examining the child, the doctor confidently declared,
"Just feed him pancakes. That should solve the problem."
The next morning, when the boy arrived at breakfast, there was a large stack of warm pancakes in the middle of the table. He asked,
"Gee, Mom, for me?"
"Just take 2.
His mother replied,
The rest are for your father."
There was this guy, sitting at a bar, just looking at his drink. He stays like that for half an hour. Then, this big trouble-making truck driver steps up next to him, takes the drink from the guy, and just drinks it all down. The poor man starts crying. The truck driver says,
"Come on man, I was just joking. Here, I'll buy you another drink. I just can't stand to see a man cry."
No, it's not that. This day is the worst of my life. First, I oversleep and get fired. When I go to my car, it was stolen. The police said that they can't do anything. I get a cab to go home, and after it took off, I remembered I left my wallet and credit cards there. Once I got home, I found my wife in bed with the gardener. I left home, and came to this bar. And then, just when I was thinking about putting an end to my life, you show up and drink my poison.
A man goes to the doctor, suffering from premature ejaculation.
"Can you do anything to help me, doc?"
said the man.
"No,"
replied the doctor,
"but I can give you the address of a woman who has a short attention span."
An old man is at his bedside praying when his wife says,
"What are you doing?"
"I'm praying for guidance,"
replies the old guy.
"Well,"
says the wife,
"just pray for stiffness. I'll guide the sucker."
Why do they give Viagra to all the old men in the nursing home? So they won't roll out of bed at night. A couple was having a quarrel in a motel, and the husband calls the manager and says,
"I'm having an argument with my wife, and now she wants to jump out the window. Please get down here right away."
The manager replied,
"I'm sorry, sir. This is your personal issue. Please solve it by yourself."
The husband snaps back,
"The window is not opening. This is not a personal issue. This is a maintenance issue."
A lady with a short skirt walks into a shoe store. The clerk greets her and she immediately wants to try on every shoe in the store. After a while, he sees that she isn't wearing any panties. He sweats, fumbles, and finally can't take it.
"Lady, I'd like to fill you up with ice cream and eat it all."
The woman jumps up, slaps him, and shouts,
"I can't believe you would say that. I'm going home and tell my husband."
She storms out, leaving the poor, scared salesman. She waits for her husband to come home, and tells him the story.
"So what?"
he says.
"Aren't you going to do anything?"
"No,"
he said.
"I'm not going to do anything for 3 reasons. 1. You have a closet full of shoes. 2. You knew you were going to shop for shoes. You should have worn underwear. And number 3. Anyone who can eat that much ice cream, I'm not gonna mess with."
A man walks into a bar and briskly orders 12 of the most expensive whiskey shots. The bartender lines up 12 shot glasses and fills them up. The man quickly downs all 12 of them back to back and hits the bar.
Again.
The bartender looks a little surprised, but lines up 12 more shots. The man quickly downs all 12 shots and hits the bar.
Again.
The bartender, visibly concerned, fills up 12 more shots and lines them on the bar. The man quickly downs all 12 shots and hits the bar.
Again.
The bartender says,
"Hold up, man. You gotta slow down."
The man says,
"Trust me, if you had what I had, you'd be drinking this fast too."
"My God,"
says the bartender, quietly leaning over the bar. He asks,
"What do you have?"
$1.
Put your finger down if you know these rock songs.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine? I am tired of the thrill of the fight, rising up. Never care for what they do. Sweet home Alabama. Take me to the magic of the moment. And it's hard to hold a candle in the cold November rain. Shout to the heart, and you're to blame. Gonna give up.
Sing along if you know these 80s songs.
I know there's much is true.
Irishman took his son to the bar on his birthday to buy him his first drink. The father bought his son a stout, but he didn't like it and didn't want to drink it. The father decided to drink it for him and ordered an ale instead. He didn't like it either. So, the father drank it and ordered him a cider. Lager, cider, cream ale. He didn't like any of them, so the father drank them and ordered whiskey instead. He didn't like any of the Irish whiskeys the father ordered, so the old man drank them and decided to give up. By the time they left the bar, the father was so drunk he could barely push his son's stroller home.
In a small town there lived a gypsy psychic, who was known to read minds, do divinations, etc. One day, she went to shop for clothes. After trying all kinds of outfits, a salesperson approached her and asked if she can bring her some things.
Sure,
said the psychic, and the girl went to get her dresses. When she came back, the psychic looked at the clothes and then raised an eyebrow.
there is no way these will fit me. They are all large.
I've been working at this a while.
Said the sales girl.
Believe me, I think these will fit you.
Nope. No way.
Said the psychic.
How do you know if you haven't even tried them on?
Said the frustrated girl.
Trust me.
Said the psychic.
I'm a medium.
A New York attorney representing a wealthy art collector called and asked to speak to his client.
Saul, I have some good news, and I have some bad news.
The art collector replied,
You know, I've had an awful day, Jack, so let's hear the good news first.
The lawyer said.
Well, I met with your wife today, and she informed me that she has invested only $5,000 in two very nice pictures that she thinks will bring somewhere between $15 and $20 million. And I think she could be right.
Saul replied enthusiastically.
Holy cow. Well done. My wife is a brilliant businesswoman, isn't she? You've just made my day. Now, I know I can handle the bad news. What is it?
The pictures are of you and your secretary.